Party people, welcome back to the Rise and Bind podcast. My name is Chris Langille. I am your host, also the founder of Advisor Evolved. We are a full service digital marketing agency serving independent insurance agencies. I'm pumped, super stoked to have who I consider a good friend of mine and an awesome insurance agent, an awesome content creator, Mr. Michael Overstreet from Heritage Advises. Welcome to the show, brother. I appreciate you coming on.
No problem. This will be fun. Anytime we talk about content and video and all that stuff, I love it. So we'll have a good conversation.
Yeah, man. So that's been our motto, our mantra the last couple of episodes, and kind of, one of the big talking points of Rise and Bind is, helping agencies position themselves for the next 10 years, 15 years, helping them make that pivot from, some of the older stuff, old school stuff maybe that they're doing to some of the new school stuff. And with that is content marketing and video and digital and automation and all the fun buzzwords that people in our industry love to talk about. But today, I thought it would be a good idea to get you on, and I've been thinking about getting you on for quite a while because I think you do a great job. Number one, with creating video content, but the interesting thing about about what you're doing is you are, to people that don't know Michael, obviously he's an insurance agent, but he also has an interesting hobby, which happens to be gardening.
Yep.
And you have a YouTube channel called The Garden Nerd. So anyone who's listening, please go and subscribe to The Garden Nerd on YouTube.
Right.
Michael has about 24,000 subscribers, which is awesome. And we're going to deep dive into this a little bit further. I wanted to get you on because I think it's very powerful. We all talk about creating content for insurance, right? You ask, or they ask, you answer, right? The
Yep.
Marcus Sheridan book.
Yep.
And I think people are fixated on creating content for insurance, but there's a lot of power in creating content that maybe doesn't have anything to do with insurance. So like talk real quick about your hobby and how it got started and where you're at now, because I can see by looking at your channel, dude, some of your videos have 12,000, 10,000, 13,000 views. And we're talking like within the last like 8 to 9 months. Whereas some of the content on your insurance channel, and this is no slight to you, but just because of the nature of the content, you know, you're lucky to get 500 views on some of these
Yep.
videos that are a year or older. So tell us, man, tell us about this and kind of how you got started and where it's at, because it's super interesting to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So I actually started content doing insurance, right? That's where I started my content journey, was on the insurance side. Marcus Sheridan, they ask, you answer, right?
Yep.
But with time, I've slowly transitioned more to where basically all of my content is on my hobby, which is what I'm passionate about. And you'll see as we like talk today, talk about insurance, and I'm just kind of like cool, calm, and collected. I don't get excited. And then as soon as we move to the gardening subject, I brighten up, right? I get all excited.
Yep.
And I think that comes through in the content that I create as well. And that's why I've been able to, that's why you see those huge differences between the insurance YouTube and the garden nerd YouTube, is because other people get passionate about gardening as well. Nobody's excited about insurance, right? When people go to my insurance YouTube and they watch a video, they're not excited about it. Usually it's because they have a problem. They want to find an answer to that problem really quick, and then they move on. They never give me another thought.
Yeah.
With gardening, I've been able to create a name for myself um, because I'm so passionate about it, because I post so much content about it on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, and I've become known as the garden nerd. I get messages all day long on every type of social media platform, people asking me, hey, what about this? Give me some advice on this. What should I plant here? What's your advice here? I am known across the web, specifically here in Arizona, but across the web, as the garden nerd and the person that can answer all of your growing questions.
That's awesome, dude. No, I know. And I looked at the channel and I'm like 23,600 subscribers. Like that would be so hard to do on an insurance agent, insurance content channel.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's the thing too, like, and that's kind of what I wanted to touch on is like for agencies that are really trying to up their content game and one of the biggest reasons people struggle to get started is like they just don't love or they're not excited about creating insurance based content.
Right.
And even people that are in the industry, and there's some people that really love that truly like probably when they were like 8 years old wanted to be an insurance agent, right? Those people do exist.
Yep.
But I
They're rare,
think,
but they exist. They're weird
yeah,
too, but they exist.
they do exist. But I think the vast majority of insurance agents, right, like they wanted to be a baseball player or an astronaut or a doctor or whatever else, right? So I think it's powerful that it's good for people to have hobbies. Number one, I think a lot of people in our industry are like workaholics,
Yes.
unfortunately, and don't get to enjoy some of the things that they really want to enjoy. So I think that's important in and of itself. But just being able to put yourself out there and, like you said, you're known as the garden nerd. And like I tell people all the time, like, and that's what content's about. It's brand awareness. It's
Yep.
getting people to know, like, and trust you. And whether you're talking about gardening or insurance or whatever, that's the point of creating video content and creating content in general is really for top of funnel brand awareness, which is really what most agencies struggle with the most. But like, let me ask you this, because I'm sure there's agencies, people listening or that will listen to this that will, like, have you actually gotten business from like that content? Like, I assume you probably have, but like, how is that a thing?
It absolutely is a thing. Yes, I'm just more well known again across the web. And before I answer that question, just to kind of go back to what you're saying, people want personality when they look at
Absolutely.
at the brand and everything you're creating. They want personality. That personality is very hard to shine through when you're talking about what is comprehensive insurance, right?
Correct.
So I've been able to show my personality, not so much on the insurance side, but on the garden nerd side, to where people actually feel like they know me, right? Like I see people out and about. It's really kind of weird because I'm not that big, but the other week I was at In and Out and some firefighter came up to me and said, "Dude, are you the garden nerd?" And it was so weird. And my girls were with me and they thought it was like crazy that someone knew me, right? And then some other person who was just listening chimed in and was like, "Hey, are you famous or something? Like, what do you do?" And it was just really weird.
It's
But this
hilarious.
guy, he acted like he knew me and we had a good conversation. And it's all from my videos. So yes, because of that, because people actually feel like they know me and they can trust me and they've seen my personality, I do have people all day long, like they'll message me on Facebook, ask me a question about a tree or that bush or whatever it may be. And then they say,
Mhm.
"Oh, by the way, do you still do insurance? I need some help on my homeowner's insurance."
Yep.
So it's just been a way for me to get my name out there more to where, again, people feel like they know me, they know what I'm doing every day, and they know I do insurance. And because they trust me on the garden nerd side, they're not afraid to ask me about insurance.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. And that's a great thing to kind of talk about for a second is there's a lot of agencies and agents and people in our line of work that have very interesting personalities.
Yep.
There's a lot of funny people in our industry, but you would never know that. The average person would never know that because if you're creating content purely around insurance and it's something that people aren't really excited to consume, they never get to know you. They never get to know your personality. And so I think there's a lot of power in creating content around something that's interesting. I've actually told people before, you know, instead of posting on your Facebook or your social accounts, 5 ways to winterize your RV for the winter, right?
Hmm.
These like insurance tips.
Yep.
Post other content that like the masses would like. So for example, like who doesn't like bacon, right? Like
Yep.
I'm kind of not trying to be funny, but I am. But like, who doesn't like bacon? If you post top 5 best bacon recipes for your upcoming Super Bowl party on your business Facebook page and your personal Facebook page, you're more likely to get engagement on that type of content than you are, you know, what's the difference between uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage, right?
Exactly.
And so I think as agencies and business owners, like think outside the box with your social media content, recipes, things that are cute, things that are funny. Obviously, humor is such an impactful thing, and you can see that with all of the big brands in our industry. It's all humor-based marketing, right?
Yep.
All the big carriers, but I think it's fun to have something that you enjoy creating content with, and like some of these videos, like I said, I mean, I just want to just call some of these out, like 5 amazing fast growing trees for warmer climates, 12,000 views. That video is only 8 months old. um let's see, there's a couple others here, right? Like why you should hack your
Moringa.
moringa tree every year, 13,000 views. And like the thing that's powerful too about this, right, is like this is all evergreen content.
Yep.
So 10 years from now, you know,
Yep.
this is all still going to be factual, and who knows where this could take you. I mean, um, you
Yeah.
know,
And to that point, the difference between insurance content and not that I'm trying to dog on insurance content. It's good. I've done it. It's
yep,
brought me business, right?
yep,
I think we know that. But with insurance content, somebody finds my insurance page 5 years from now because they had one question, and they find the video, they get the answer, they're going to move on. They're not going to go down the rabbit hole of watching every single video that I've ever made. However, with the Garden Nerd channel, I've seen this happen.
people are
People will
binging
find
it.
one video and they'll go down that rabbit hole. They'll watch
Yeah,
15, 20 videos in one night after
yeah,
watching that first video. Then at that point, like we talked about, they feel like they know me, they trust me, and they're my fan, and they're going to follow me forever.
yeah. And people start to binge the content.
Yep.
Yeah, and there's so much power in that, man. Like that is really cool. I know I toyed around with a similar idea, and just again, kind of a hobby. It wasn't anything that is meant to be like a business endeavor or anything like that. But I created this Facebook group called Broker Smokers,
Hmm.
which is all about barbecue and food. And I haven't had as much time lately to really contribute. But there's people that are in that. There's a lot of insurance agents that are in the group that will ask for tips. Hey, I'm going to smoke this. I'm smoking these ribs like this weekend. Like, what do you guys recommend for brine or spices or
Hmm.
sauce or whatever? And like, uh, and I truly did not ever intend for it to be a business thing or anything like that. It was just something for fun. It started because I didn't know what kind of smoker I should get. So I
Yep.
started asking around, and I got a lot of different advice. Like David Carruthers, right? He's big into like barbecue, and he's like, you got to get this. You got to get. It was like some kind of like pit boss, or I can't even remember, but it was like some kind of smoker. And then like other people were like, no, you need to get a green egg. And then other people were like, if you're going to get a green egg, you should get a Kamado because it's basically the same thing, but it's like $1,000 less. So I was getting like all these different answers. I'm like, I can't be the only person that's like looking for a smoker. So yeah, I created the group one night on a whim, and now there's like a bunch of people in the group, and it's like every couple of days someone new requests to be a member, and it's like it has put me in front of potential customers unintentionally,
Yep.
that may otherwise never interacted with me or gotten to know me or
For sure.
um, whatever else.
For sure. And I would add to that, they're interacting with you, they get to know you personally. And then when it
Correct.
comes time to do business and someone recommends Advisor Evolve, now they're like, "Oh, I know Chris. He's cool."
Yes.
And they're willing to trust you and throw their money at you.
Yeah. And that's one thing, honestly, like, and it's not to toot my own horn, but I try to be as down to earth as I possibly can. That's just my natural personality. I'm not this corporate CEO, founder, insure tech guy. Like,
Yep.
and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. That's not a slight to anybody else. It's just I'm just one of the guys, honestly.
Can I tell a story on that real
Yeah,
quick?
yeah. Please do.
When I first met you, when someone recommended Advisor Evolve, this was years ago. The picture. I watched like some type of Loom video or something where you were kind of explaining things, and your picture, your profile picture, has you in like these glasses, and you do look all professional. And I thought, oh, this guy's gonna be all stuffy and like stuck up and stuff. And so it was really funny when I
That's
actually
fun.
got on a Zoom call with you. I was like, oh, that picture does not match
Yeah.
Chris at all because you are very laid back, down to earth, just one of the guys. So I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, and it is funny how that works, and I think that's so important in business, man. Like, there are, and especially in our line of work in our business, right? Like, there's this like expectation that insurance agencies have to be agents have to be buttoned up and like wear suits and ties and not have any facial hair. If I didn't have facial hair, I would look crazy. By the way, I have nightmares about waking up without a beard or goatee. Uh, I'm sure at one point I'll lose the hair, up top. But
Yeah, yeah.
if I ever, no. But it is like there's this expectation that we have to be, buttoned up, and it's like that really what resonates with consumers? I mean, I guess it does
Maybe some.
a certain demographic, um, but it's interesting.
Yeah. You know what? One other point on that, we want to do business with who we want to do business with, right? There's so many fish in the sea. So the fact that if we can do these other endeavors, push out other hobbies on social media and be who we are, then the people that we want to do business with are the people that are going to come flocking to us, right?
Yeah,
So I'm in a hoodie. This is how I always am. I'm not going to get like a client that comes up and wants an agent with a suit and tie
sure,
all the time, right? I'm going to get the type of people that I want to do business with because I put
100%.
myself out there and people know me and how I am.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and it's interesting, and I'm sure there's people that are listening, right? Like, you enjoy fishing, go start a fishing channel, go start a fishing blog, and there's another powerful component to all this that I haven't talked about yet, which is you can put a Facebook pixel on your gardening website, and you can retarget visitors with insurance based advertising.
Yep.
you know so
Yep.
there's this whole other dynamic to this, which is people get to know, like, and trust you for the hobby, but you can actually you can turn that into backdoor, subtle, non-aggressive marketing, just again top of funnel brand awareness type of marketing for what you do as an agent. So there's a lot of power in that, and like you with 24,000 subscribers on YouTube, I mean, you're at the point now where you could probably make some ad revenue from YouTube. Maybe you already are.
I am.
Yeah, so you are, right? Yeah,
Yep.
that's awesome. I mean,
Yep.
that's the whole other side to this too, is like, as insurance agents, like, look, at the end of the day, like, we're entrepreneurs. You know what I mean? Uh,
Yep.
this website and digital marketing business, like, it started as a side hustle, 15 years ago.
Uh-huh.
It's not something I planned on doing. I thought I was going to retire as an insurance agent.
Yep.
You never know where this thing could go for you too. It's like you get up to 100,000 subscribers, and I've seen some channels that have like absolutely exploded within like a 12-month period. They'll go from 20,000 subs to 60,000, 80,000. Like, once the algorithm starts showing you,
Yep.
and dude, it's unbelievable how much some of these YouTubers are making.
It's
I
insane.
mean,
It's
like,
insane.
Mr. Beast is like a billionaire because of YouTube, and
Yes.
like, just some people that honestly don't have a real skill in life, at least not yet, but they're good on camera.
Yep.
They know how to edit videos enough to the point where you have a couple of these guys, like, my couple of my kids play Call of Duty and like
Uh-huh.
Fortnite and stuff like that, and some of these channels, like, literally an 18-year-old kid, like, in his mom's basement, and
Yeah.
he has 3 million YouTube subscribers, and like, then like you see like a video from a year later, and he's in like a 20,000 square foot house with like a Lamborghini, literally, and
Yeah.
it's all from YouTube revenue. I mean,
Yeah.
talk about that for a second. Like, at what point? Because I'm just now starting to fill up our YouTube channel, and those
Mhm.
are listening, head to the Advisor Evolved YouTube channel. Our
There you go.
podcast is updated there all the time, and we're pushing out a lot of awesome content. So just check out Advisor Evolved on YouTube. But talk real quick about that, like the monetization component to YouTube, because I think there's some opportunity there for other agents too, like with their hobbies, and it could turn into like a real true revenue stream.
For sure. Yeah, so, I have an old friend who I don't talk to much anymore. He moved to Utah. He runs, like, a YouTube, management, like, he manages personality. It started with
Gotcha.
him and his friend. They had their own channels, huge. They make tons of ad revenue from it. But I do pick his brain from time to time. And here's the crazy thing, and also all the courses I've taken have told me this, that the revenue from, when they run ads on your videos, right? The ad revenue, that's chunk change compared to once you get up to that 20, 30, $40,000 subscriber range, the sponsorships is what can
Yes.
really make you the money, right? So,
Yes.
so me with my 23, 24, however many thousand subscribers, I'll make anywhere between 150 to $250 a month on ad revenue. That
Got it.
just comes in. I don't have to do anything on it. But where I'm starting to put a lot of my focus, because this is what my friend and everybody else tells me, is because I'm trying to position myself so uniquely kind of here in the desert Southwest. Um, I have this very niche audience, which is a gold mine for companies that want to come in and sell their specific products.
Yeah.
People think you have to have millions of subscribers to have someone come in and want to sponsor you. You don't.
Yeah.
Um, you can have very little subscribers as long as you're targeting that right niche and people are going to want you to sell their stuff. So that's where you can really make the money. Like my friend was telling me a few years ago, he's like, yeah, we had Subaru come in and say, hey, we want you to stand in front of a Subaru for 20 seconds in your video, and we're going to send you $20,000 if you do that.
That's
Right.
wild.
Or like Doritos comes in and says, hey, be eating a bag of Doritos and we're going to pay you $10,000, whatever it is. That's where you can really start making some of that ad revenue. But at the same time, like making 150 to 250, I'm not getting rich off it obviously, right?
Sure,
But I don't have
sure.
to do anything.
Yeah. No, exactly. It's completely passive income.
Yep.
And and it's 150, 200 now. I mean, you never know. I mean, you get up to 100,000 subscribers, and now it's a couple $1,000 a month, or 5, 10,000 bucks a month, and it's like,
Yep.
that's pretty good for a little side hustle, a little hobby.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. And then also just affiliate links as well. Like in the gardening world, there's lots of stuff like people want this shovel or this
Yes.
pot or whatever it may be. I already have some affiliate links
Yep.
that I put on my YouTube channel, where people click on it. I get a percentage of that, whether it's through Amazon or any other
Yeah.
company.
Yeah. It's really easy to become an Amazon affiliate. I mean,
Yep.
it's like you can sign up, and 24 hours later, you can start making money. But it is, yeah, I noticed that too on a lot of channels. I mean, there's so many affiliates, obviously, and there's a lot of affiliates that are very smart about how they go about creating their content, where you think it's like an educational tutorial, but really it's a pitch for you
Yep.
know the software, the product that they're an affiliate for. And some of these channels, like I said, 200, 300, 400,000 subscribers, you know you're making substantial revenue just by creating videos. So it's a
Exactly.
very intriguing proposition. What does your schedule look like? Because I'm sure some agents listening are probably like, how often are you creating videos? Like, do you have a game plan in place? Like, are you doing your own kind of like research behind the scenes to see like what topics are popular? Or do you just kind of like go off of a whim and kind of do it as things come
Yeah.
to you?
Yeah. So this is a good topic, and it's something that I'm continuously learning on and making mistakes on, when it comes to content. So this happened years ago to where I was posting tons of videos like how to grow this tree, how to grow this tree, how to do this, and I was gaining lots of subscribers. And then one day I was playing with my drone. I caught an awesome sunset, and I was like, "Dang, this would be cool to put on my YouTube channel. People would love it." I put it on there and I had so many negative comments of people like,
Really?
I loved when this channel was about growing trees or how to do
Yeah.
this or how to do that. And even though the video was so cool, like I was playing with my drone, the sunset was beautiful. That's not why people were coming to my channel, right? They wanted to come because they wanted to be taught by the garden nerd how to grow certain things. I deviated from that. I forgot that lesson. And, a few months ago, the name of my channel is Garden Nerd. I'm a nerd. So I was like going deep into soil biology, microbiology, soil health, because that was like really interesting to me.
Hmm.
I started making videos on that type of stuff, and I wasn't getting the views that I thought. I was like, I'm so interested in this. Why is nobody else
Yeah.
interested in it? And then I was actually talking to Nick. You know Nick.
Yep.
He's gotten the bug of growing stuff, and so he went down the rabbit hole and binge watched a lot of my content. And I asked him, because I'm always asking for suggestions. I was like, "Hey, what would you do differently? What did you like? What did you not like?" And he specifically pointed out, like, "Hey, I loved all your videos about how to grow these things and those things, but it seems like recently you've been talking a lot about soil lately." It's like, I don't care about the soil, man. I just want you to tell me how to grow the tree. And so that kind of like took me back, and I was like, okay, I need to post what my audience wants me to post, why they're coming to my channel. So that's a long way to answer your question. And now I can't answer your question. I'm in a bunch of gardening groups on Facebook. I
Nice.
watch other YouTube videos. I see and I make note of the struggles that people are having. Take it from there, go and make the
That's
content.
it.
And I try to keep it as simple as possible. I'm not try I've learned now, I know a lot more than the average person, but the average person doesn't care how much I know. They just want me to tell them, "You need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this."
Yep.
That's all they care about. So that's the type of content I make now, but it's all based around, what people actually want. So, yeah, I will just make note of that, and then I just have an ongoing spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet, and I just go through and say, "Okay,
Topics.
it's time to make a new video," and I'll just go in and pick that topic, and go from there. One thing that I will point out, so I've been to a few YouTube conferences, taken some courses. Something that's very, very important, you want to pick out the title of your video before you even make the video,
Hmm. Yep.
because everything you say in that video has to tie back to that title, because that's what made them click in the first place.
Correct.
So I come up with the title first, and I'm like, all right, this is what the video is going to be on. And I have that title in my mind the whole time I'm shooting the video.
Yeah. That's
And
interesting.
if you want to go even one step further, one YouTube conference I was at, Mr. Beast actually spoke. He has his thumbnails done, picked out, finalized, perfect before he even makes the video.
Interesting.
He told a story about how he shot this video about the 7 wonders of the world. He went around to all of them. This was before he made his thumbnails first. Awesome video, took tons of time and money, but he couldn't figure out the right thumbnail afterwards. He has never released that video
Wow. That's
because
wild.
he's so into like the analytics and the data
The
and
perfection. He's a
click-through rate
perfectionist.
and all of that.
Yeah.
So
I
um,
know. And I feel like too, like that stuff is important, especially when you get into the amount of subscribers that he has, and that's your sole, income.
yep.
But I I would say, and you might echo this advice to people getting started, is like, don't care about how many views you have. Don't care about click through in the beginning. It's just more about getting into a routine that you're comfortable with. Um, and I'm still getting comfortable with my routine with this podcast. And I know that the first couple episodes probably will are rough compared to what they'll be a year from now. But it's like you got to start somewhere, and I
Yep.
think it's easier to get started when you're talking about something that you're like deeply, interested in. Like I could talk about sports until I'm blue in the face. Like,
Yeah.
and me and a couple of buddies of mine have tossed around the idea. We're working through some logistics with like schedules and stuff and getting, availability, but trying to start a podcast for sports related and fantasy football and
Really
those
cool.
kinds of things. And like, it's kind of a crowded space. There's so many people that have those type of podcasts and sports, but it's like, I don't care. Like I'm the only Chris Langille. I'm the only, I'm me, and there's no other me. So it's like, I'm just going to do it anyway and have fun with it.
Yep.
And if people like it, great. If they don't, you know, I'm not necessarily trying to like please everybody. And, that's the other thing too, is like, you're not every video is going to be a home run. Like
Right.
some of the videos have a couple hundred views and some have 5, 6,000 views. And it's like, Yeah, I think when you get caught up in the analytics side of things, it sort of maybe it starts to muddy the waters a little bit, right?
100%. I would echo what you say. Yeah. There's no reason not to get started. If you've never posted a video on YouTube in your life, who cares? Just get out there, get your phone, selfie style, make the video. Because at the end of the day, we'll go back to talking about personality. People want to see personality, they don't care about a polished video. I've asked multiple subscribers, people that watch me on YouTube, I say, hey, do you really care about the quality and how polished it looks? They say, no, I'm just watching for the content and for the personality.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I 100% echo what you say. And then I'll also say to people, agents who are like maybe scared to get started for whatever reason, something that I still struggle with is imposter syndrome. Like,
Hmm.
there's so many other people that have more knowledge than me, people that I've learned from, that don't have YouTube channels. And I'm like, well, here I am, like spouting off this information. What makes me qualified to do so?
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, I come back to, um, at the end of the day, I come back to, well, what makes me qualified is I'm passionate about it and I want other people to have that passion as well and to have that knowledge. So that's what qualifies me. I don't have to worry about people not, about me not being as smart as the other person. Just get started. Who cares? Do it your way, and who cares what anybody else thinks or says.
Yeah, 100%. Dude, that's very powerful, man. No, I appreciate you coming on. And I think the lesson of today's, episode is, number one, um, create content around topics that you truly enjoy. If you're an insurance agent, you're listening to this, um, there's nothing wrong with starting a podcast about fishing before you start a podcast about insurance, right?
Yeah.
Have fun with it and let your personality shine through. And I think you're going to win quicker that way than you are trying to force your way through. And look, again, there's nothing wrong with insurance content. Like that's a big part of driving people to you. And I know that there's so many people, advisory evolved clients, Mike Crowley, Mike Fusco, David Carruthers. um, I'm missing probably a million other people, but like these guys are like machines when it comes to creating insurance content. And I know that they've had a lot of success with generating leads and just it does help. I mean, we're so big on video, man. Like with Quote Viz and stuff.
Yep.
That's like such a big part of digital marketing and lead generation. But I appreciate you, man, coming on. So people can find Michael, the Garden Nerd, on YouTube. I don't know if you have a website for this. Do you?
Yeah. It's actually thegardennerd.org.
Okay. So thegardennerd.org. Interesting. But
Yep.
yes, please do my man a favor. Head over to the YouTube channel. I'm
For sure.
subscribing right now. I just click subscribe. I'm
Love it.
kind of surprised that I wasn't already subscribed. Um, yeah, that's weird. And I'm subscribing to Heritage Advises YouTube
Nice.
channel as well.
There you go.
You have some great content on that channel as well, man. You do really do a great job with it, man. So kudos to
Thank you.
you. So yeah,
Thank
so the Garden Nerd YouTube, you can catch Rise and Bind podcast on all of your favorite podcasting apps, and on YouTube. And if you are an independent agent looking for a better digital footprint, check out advisorevolve.com. Michael, thank you, my friend, for jumping on. Solid gold today, brother. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. This was fun, man. Appreciate it.
All right, bud. Take care.
Yep. See ya.
All right. So